Hey guys, this is the Prince of Macedon, and I'm doing a commentary video for Empire Total War multiplayer. This is a Russia versus Austria battle. I command the Russians, and my opponent is Tyler Durden in command of the Austrians. You can see that we've already kicked off the battle. We have started a median engagement towards the middle of the map here. I've got my artillery firing at him, he's got his artillery firing at my guys. And the very front here are my skirmish troops, those are my riflemen, and I am duking it out with my opponent's Windjägers, and now his regular line infantry. If you look at my troop, I have line infantry, 24-pounder artillery, then I have some cavalry forces, in addition to the riflemen you just saw. Alright, my opponent's starting to break through my skirmish line, and I'm going to withdraw it further back, and I'm going to suck my opponent in a little deeper into my lines here. And my opponent has a similar army. He has tons of line infantry, then he has some Windjägers, then he has his own cavalry, and then he has his own 24-pounders. And here's the action on the right flank. My opponent drove his cavalry into my cavalry. And back at the infantry center here. Here's what's going on. Our line infantry is now going at it with each other. And here's the action on the extreme left flank. He's launching his cavalry at my cavalry here, and I'm going to countercharge his cavalry. So I was better prepared for the cavalry assault on this side. And right here he had an extra squadron of cavalry, and I didn't see them. So he charged right into the left of my infantry formation right there. Had I seen him, I would have formed my guys into a square, but oh well. So here's what's going on. We are duking it out. And it's kind of odd that Russia and Austria are fighting against each other, because during all the major wars of the 18th century, these guys were buddy-buddy. But here, that's clearly not the case. There's my opponent's Windjägers. He put a lot of upgrades into his Windjägers there. Oh, and also my opponent does have a militia unit in the back. And he also has some kind of cavalry squadron in the back. And he's going to use it as a reserve. But I pretty much decimated my opponent's line infantry for the most part. And here I was successful in the cavalry engagement on my right flank as well. But there's a lot of dead horses right there. One of the advantages that the Austrians have over the Russians is that their line infantry has, they have a few more troops. I believe the Austrians at large settings have 150 troops in their line infantry, and the Russians have 120. Alright, over here, I was going to do a cavalry charge into his line infantry, but when I saw his guys form into a square, I stopped at the last second, and that's when I brought up my line infantry. So while his guys are in square, I'm just going to form an infantry line and just shoot it out with his dudes. His guys really have no choice. They're screwed either way. If he takes him out of square, then my cavalry's going to charge. So his guys are pretty much pinned down right now. And I'm going to take my guard unit here, and I'm going to take some very accurate shots at his square. And because they're clustered like that, it should be an easy target for my guards. Now I'm going to charge with my guards, and I'm also going to charge with my cavalry. I see his flag blinking, so I know they're going to break easily. So we're going to run right into his dudes there, and there's a little bit of lag right now, but it'll pass. Alright, so I've got my cavalry. I'm going to wreak havoc on my opponent's army now, because his lines are very disoriented right now, and this is the best opportunity and chance to launch my cavalry. And following in the wake of my cavalry, I've got my foot soldiers right behind my dudes. And they are following closely behind. But right now I'm going to take my cavalry, and I'm going to deal damage wherever I can, wherever I see that the enemy is not prepared. And that's pretty much everywhere. But you can see in the very back, my opponent does have his reserve cavalry squadron back there. So he is going to countercharge my cavalry. And you can also see that little infantry formation right there, that's unengaged, that's his militia. But he put tons of upgrades into that militia unit. You can see the flag right there. So those guys are going to last a very long time in this upcoming battle right here. But in the center, my guys are pretty much owning his line infantry. And here's my cavalry on my right. They are also launching a similar mission. They're going to wreak havoc on the disorganized Austrian lines. And here I'm going to crash into my opponent's 24-pounders there, because they are not very well protected. They had a line infantry unit back there, but they were formed into a line, and they should have been formed into a square. So my cavalry just runs them over, and very soon his 24-pounders will be overrun with my cavalry. And it's too late for him to form into a square. So we're going to continue to chop those dudes down, and so I've won on the extreme right. And here's one unit of, I believe those are Windjagers. They are standing their ground, so you can tell that they're fanatics. But here comes my line infantry. Slowly but surely, they are advancing like a mammoth. Now we're going to charge into his Windjagers. And in this kind of contest, my guys are surely going to win. But look at all those upgrades he put into his Windjagers. Alright, and the action is still going right here, and that's where all the cavalry is, or most of the cavalry is. Because of all the upgrades he put into his units, his guys are able to beat back my guys, like, regardless of how much numbers I put in. But I'm going to keep pouring in troops, and eventually his guys are going to falter. You can see in the back some of my Russian flags are starting to rout, and I'm just going to ignore it, and I'm going to keep pouring in my troops. Just keep doing it. So, even with all those upgrades that he has, my guys are going to swamp his dudes. Overwhelm them with superior numbers. That's the battle plan right now. Alright, he just lost his general, and I also lost my general too, in that big engagement right here. And right there in the back is a 24-pounder unit. They stopped routing, so I'm going to send some of my line infantry out in that general direction towards his artillery pieces. But I also have my artillery firing at his artillery too, so that'll speed up the process. And here comes my here comes another unit of line infantry. As you can see, I'm just pouring in my troops into that big massive combat right there. And he has 2 Austrian flags there, and I've got like 4 Russian flags. So there's no way he can continue this for long. And not only that, I got more and more troops coming in. So putting that many upgrades is kind of a risk. It could work, but it could also be a liability. And here's some of my riflemen. Seeing that they're not needed to fight his artillery, I'm going to turn my riflemen back, and I'm going to put these guys into the fray. I'm going to have them use their swords against those Austrian troops. So here we come. I'm going to charge in. And in case you're wondering, this is the Grassy Flatlands I map. And this is my favorite map, of course. But there's also a few more flat maps too in this game, but I prefer the Grassy Flatlands I. And they have other variants of the Grassy Flatlands. There's the Grassy Flatlands II, and that's for 2 versus 2 battles. And you get the Grassy Flatlands III, and that's for 3 versus 3 battles, and so on and so forth. Alright, finally I break the Austrian morale there, and my guys are going to rout the enemy. But yeah, back to what I was saying, the latest 1.5 patch added new maps, new factions, mainly the Native American factions, and a few new units. And anyways, that was a victory for me. I'll let you read the results yourself. Good game to Durden.